Morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Kevin Lopez again from Personal Tutors, today explaining you a very kind-hearted and a sad poem by Shirley Toulson named The Photograph. The Photograph is a poem about a poet mesmerizing her lost mother who has been dead 12 years from now. She actually goes ahead and explains a fine day when her mother and she sat together and exclaimed a few old memories watching a photograph of her mother. The lines in this poem goes as, "The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girls' cousin went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hands, and she the big girl, some 12 years or so." The cardboard here depicts an old photograph or a photo frame because initially during the old times, people usually went ahead and framed their photographs to the base of a cardboard. The next lines show that her mother was accompanied by her two cousin sisters and they went for paddling. That's a process near the beach or a sea or a river or a water body. Dressed up like tiny creatures, they were looking forward to go ahead and have a gala time. So that was what's happening over here. All three stood still to the smile though their hair at the uncle with the camera, a sweet face, my mother's that was before I was born, and the sea which appears to have changed less. The girls being young, somewhere around 12-year-old, that's the age of his mother that the poet mentions, claim to give a smile to the wavy hair, perhaps the wet-end hair, to the person who's taking the photograph, and the poet depicts that this is a photograph that actually goes ahead and encompasses the three sisters together and the sea that has not changed. The line that the sea that has not changed here emphasizes much more on the phase of the potential human life and the exponential sea and the nature. It clearly depicts that we as humans are mortals who would be going ahead and losing our serenity, our virality, our vitalness one day, yet the sea, the nature and everything remains calm. Later on in the story, the poet becomes a bit nostalgic because she actually goes ahead and feels sad on the demise of her mother and resembles the same time when she passed away 12 years ago. This was the inline meaning of the poem, friends. In our words, we can explain the story about a kick towards a mortal life, an appraisal of the natural characteristics that remain forever. Certain aspects in this poem depicts the phases of a human life, that is the childhood where they are carefree, they used to roam around, the girls, as mother says, look at them dressed, all drenched, carefree, wild, outgoing. The second stanza actually reminisces the mother looking at the picture and finding the pain and the grief as well, where she loses the chance to go ahead and miss her childhood once again. She says, "Gone are those days." Now this actually gives us a dubious phrase where actually the poet too depicts gone are those days in a sense of losing her mother, whence the mother uses the term to indemnify the purpose of the photograph, to give her a reminiscence of the old ages, the young age, the old times that she actually spent with her sister. This poem gives us a grief of a loss. It actually depicts the loss encompassed by the mother in relation to her childhood, the old times, encompassed by the poet in relation to the loss of her dear mother. This is a variance, a resemblance of human life in accordance to the nature that remains still. We'll see certain question and answers of this chapter. Certain words, difference between padding and transient, where padding actually means the process of going to the seas and enjoying. Transient is something that isn't placed for a long time. What does the word cardboard denotes in the poem, and why has this word been used? The word cardboard here depicts the base on which the photograph was framed. The very word is used in the poem to denote a time when people used cardboard bases to make photo frames. Now this clearly depicts that this is a story about the old times. This is the poet's thinking, the reminiscence about the old times. What has the camera captured? The camera has not just captured three girls playing, but their emotions, the support, the happiness, the smile, the joy, and the virility of the young girls. Whilst the camera has also gone ahead and captured the never-changing nature, the sea, and the scenery around. What has not changed over the years? Does this suggest something to you? The lines and the sea, which appears to have changed less. These lines mention clearly that the changes that have not been effective upon are on the sea, the nature, and the things around, whilst the mortal humans get faded away from the picture on a nostalgic point of view. The poet depicts that her mother has passed away. It's been 12 years. The picture was actually of hers when she was 12-year old, yet the nature, the sea, the waves, the hills, they have not changed at all. The poet's mother laughed at the snapshot. What did this laugh indicate? The laugh that the poet's mother gave whilst watching the photograph gave us two notions. The one was the happiness to see herself in a young age and her younger sisters taking her as cousin and elder one and running around her, as well as that was a laughter of a grief and an envious time, well, when she goes ahead and misses the childhood. She gives a laughter in a sign mode as well, because she misses the old days, the beautiful old days that are going ahead and being vanished. Only the reminiscence, the pictures, the pictographs, the photographs that she has gives her a reminder of the beautiful days. What is the meaning of the line, both rhyme with the labored ease of loss? This line actually depicts the mother losing the childhood that was free, out of bounds of any pain, out of bounds of any grief, loss. Thus she goes ahead and misses the pain of loss, whilst the poet also goes ahead and misses her dear mother, whom she could see laughing, whom she could see enjoying, feeling happy at heart while watching the photograph of her childhood. So these lines actually depict the nostalgic states of both the minds, both the hearts of the poet and her mother. What does the circumstance refer to? This circumstance especially refers to the condition of the poet, where she is right now missing her mother dearly, who has been dead for 12 years, and she has been feeling sad all the time, writing up the poem, giving up a notion of missing her mother. And the circumstance, friends, circumstance are situations that actually keep you captive within them in the lifespan. They cannot be changed, yes, yet they have to be faced. So the poet here depicts the word, the circumstance, is actually the fight that she is carrying on with the facts of the losses that her mother and she has borne. The three stanzas depict different phrases. The first stanza refers to the childhood of the mother, the childhood where a kid is usually born free, does not have a need to pry on, does not need to go ahead and put in effort, clearly depicts the base that the mother lived. The second stanza here reminds us of the mother feeling sad, quite disheartened over missing her childhood days and getting into the adulthood with a kid and remembering the long old days. The third and the final stanza here depicts clearly the loss that the poet is suffering, has had after the demise of her mother. This was a brief explanation about the grievances of Shirley Toulson about her mother in this beautifully written poem, The Photograph. I have gone ahead and explained a few questionnaire. If you have certain more questions, you can definitely comment, or you can press the button about us and know more about personal tutors. You can get the data online, you can get it online and in pen drive on request as well. And you can even contact us at the given numbers. So thank you very much. Signing off today, Kevin Lopez.